Back. I hope your questions went well. Now we're going to do another example here, maybe a couple. Oh, nope, just one, I think. So we are going to practice making a flowchart proof from a two-column proof. So it says use the given two-column proof to write a flowchart proof. So it says given point B is the midpoint of segment AC, and prove that 2 times the length of AB is equal to the length of AC. So if we look at the first thing we always do is make sure we understand the two-column proof that they've given us. So they say point B is the midpoint of segment AC. Given, yep, that's our given statement. Good. And what does that mean to be the midpoint? If you recall, midpoint means that we're going to have congruent segments. So instead of definition of midpoint here, we're going to say midpoint means congruent segments. Okay, so I'm going to draw that right on my picture, and that's what you guys should do too. Whenever you make a new discovery, you should draw it on your picture. So we just said that segment AB is congruent to segment BC. Well, what does that mean? Oh, that means their lengths are equal. So we're going to say congruent means equal measures. Okay, well, now that I know that, I also know that the length of AB plus the length of BC should equal the length of AC. That's part plus part equals whole. That's the segment addition postulate. Okay, so then I know that since this is true, step 4, and step 3 is true, I can take BC and replace it with AB. So that's how I get this. That's substitution. I just replaced BC with AB because I know AB and BC are the same thing. Then I combine my like terms, and that's how I get that. Okay. Now that I'm feeling pretty good, that I understand what the proof says, I can write it in a in a flowchart proof. So for my flowchart proof, I'm going to start with my first statement. B is the midpoint of AC. How do I know? Given. So I just write the statement, and then I put the reason right underneath it. And then I can say, oh, if that's true, then, so right, if then, the arrow means the if then part, then segment AB is congruent to segment BC. Don't forget your hats. How do I know? Oh, because midpoint means congruent segments. All right, if that's true, then I know that AB, the length of AB, is equal to the length of BC. Well, how do I know? Oh, that's what congruent means. So congruent means equal measures. Well, now this one's tricky. Do I need to know that AB is equal to BC in order to use the segment addition postulate? Or can I just use the segment addition postulate no matter what? I'm pretty sure I can just use the segment addition postulate. So I don't need arrows to point to the segment addition postulate one. So what I do know is I know AB plus BC is equal to AC. And that's the segment addition postulate. And I don't have arrows to that because I didn't need, that's not part of an if then. I didn't need an if in order for that to be true. That is true no matter what. But to do step 5 here, I did need this information and this information. So that's why it would have 2 arrows, because I had needed both of those pieces of information to use substitution. In fact, that's always going to be true with substitution. I'm going to need two pieces of information. The part that I'm plugging into and the part that I'm using to plug in. Okay? So that piece said that AB plus AB is equal to AC. And how do I know? I did substitution. And lastly then, if that's true, I can combine my like terms and get that 2AB equals AC. And you can write combined like terms or like what they wrote in there, it's simplify. There we go. And that's how we create a flowchart proof. All right, your assignment is to do numbers 1, 3 through 4, 7 through 8, and 11 through 13 on page 122. We will work on that in class tomorrow and also go over any questions you may have. Have a great day, class.